Join the conversation on Facebook and Twitter with Good Day Dakota.
Well, welcome back at 6:41.
Well, when you think of lake effect snow, you probably associate it with areas around the Great Lakes and maybe not so much in North Dakota.
New this morning, meteorologist Amber Wheeler is here to explain why we can see lake effect snow here and how some of us even saw it this week. That's this week's Weather-Wise. Hi, Amber.
Well, Tim and Alicia, lake effect snow could be a game changer in other parts of the country, dumping feet of snow in a single snow band. And we see lake effect snow here in North Dakota, but not to the extent that the folks around the Great Lakes see it. This is video from this Monday when we saw lake effect snow here. Light flurries gently fell around the capital city and portions of south central North Dakota, and sometimes it can add up to a few inches. This particular lake effect snow event actually gave us maybe a tenth of an inch or so. And Robert Sir took this video for me there. He said that there were some snow showers that were light and maybe one or two that were moderate there. And again, that all came from Lake Sakakawea. So here's the radar image from that day. And you can see the radar returns really aren't all that impressive. The lake is still pretty far away. What really is impressive is how this formed. So let's talk about how this happened. First, we need a lake that is not froze over. You cannot get lake effect snow when you have a frozen lake. And in this case, we had Lake Sakakawea with water temperatures in the 40s. Then we need a very cold air mass, which is what we had on Monday. The bigger the temperature difference between the air and the water, the better. This Arctic air mass then glides over the lake, and that warmer air near the surface of the water rises and forms clouds. All that moisture aids in snow development. And as it moves on land, that's where, of course, we start to see that snow accumulation. Now, lake effect snow, it won't dump piles of snow here in North Dakota. And the main reason is what we call fetch, which is the difference that cold air mass has to travel over that warm water. And you can see here our fetch on Lake Sakakawea, it's anywhere between 3 and 5 miles, and even at the longest there at the Van Hook Arm, maybe around 20 miles or so. But you compare that to the Great Lakes region, where we're talking a distance of over 100 miles, 150 at times. That's a lot of moisture that can be picked up. Lake effect snow in this region can dump feet of snow from one single band. In fact, Tug Lake Plateau in upstate New York sees the most lake effect snow out of anywhere in the world. They have a yearly average of anywhere between 300 and 350 inches of snow accumulation. It would take us 5 to 7 years combined to see that much snow. Let that sink in. And if you're wondering about a high snow total from lake effect snow here in North Dakota, well, a good case study is from December 2nd of 2009. We got roughly 3 inches just north of Bismarck, and you can see the other totals that came from that event as well. Now, not a ton of snow fell, but it certainly gave it its issues here. We had a lot of accidents that day, 14 in total around the Bismarck and Mandan area. And while lake effect snow here, you know, it's kind of rare. It can be impactful, and it usually happens this time of year because the lake isn't frozen and we have all that cold air moving in from the north this time of year. And Tim and Alicia, I should also mention that I collaborated with this piece with Tyler Kranz from the National Weather Service, and he's somewhat of a lake effect snow guru. And that Tug Hill Plateau that I was telling you about, well, he studied lake effect snow there before, and he was tasked with driving into some of those heavy snow bands. At one point, he said he measured a rate of 10 inches per hour of snow in one of those snow bands. I mean, pretty wild stuff.
That's crazy.
Snow bands can vary so much, so maybe he's going from the 10 inches to a tenth of an inch.
It is wild.
Yeah.
You can, in lake effect snow, especially the Great Lakes region, you can have 3 feet in one area. You drive a mile and you get a dusting.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
I had no idea it had such an impact over in the Great Lakes.
And we see it here, just not to the extent.
Interesting. Thank you,
Amber.
When we return.